Today I want to share with you something that will change your entire farming experience forever. If you want to stop having mortality or deaths on your chicken farm, this million naira worth of tip is all you need to begin with. So I went visiting my parents yesterday and I was reminded of a lesson I had learned from nature back then in school. This lesson will show you why you have been having some issues on your farm repeatedly. So I was to help my mom harvest some tomatoes. Trust me, I don't know the scientific name of this species of tomatoes, but the plant is actually called around another plant. This one too, I don't even know the English name. They call it F4 Yanopaja, F4, I don't know if it's the one referred to as F4 Americana. People actually hit it, but you see, this plant dealt with me. It actually reminded me of what I had learned in the past about nature. So just about 2 minutes after harvesting the tomatoes, I did it carelessly. I didn't remember that plant was harmful. So after about 2 minutes, I started feeling this itching sensation on my arm. And when I showed it to my mom, she said, oh, your hand touched that leaf. And there was inflammation and she had to apply that remedy she is holding. As a chicken farmer, it will do you a lot good if you understand that both plants and animals have their survival mechanism. For this plant, it's actually its way of preventing people from harvesting it, from killing it in the wild. So it has that secretion that once you touch it, your hand becomes itchy and you have this inflammation on your arm. The same goes to the organisms that come and destroy your chickens. These organisms will hide in the bedding as well as in every corner or far-reaching places in the house, and only a thorough wash can get rid of them in your farm. You see, after every batch, as people do their cleaning, they say they have disinfected the house, and when you enter the house, you see a lot of cobwebs lying around the place, and the floor is not thoroughly scrubbed, it's not that clean. Maybe this is where I should tell you that a cemented floor that is made smooth with cement is actually better than the concrete floor. Some people believe in having that concrete floor, but I tell you, it has its own negative effect. It allows the deaths, the litter from the previous batch of chickens that you raised, to hide in the corners of that floor, because it's hard to reach. You can't, even when you're using a brush, you can't easily scrub it out. So it is actually better to have this cemented floor. And beyond that, the main idea is to be as thorough as possible. I could have used the pressure washer to actually wash the floor without having to use the brush to scrub it. The pressure washer has enough power to remove those dirt, but there was no light, and I also thought there was fuel in the generator. Unknowing to me, it had finished the previous night, so I decided to go with the brush. I actually have a range of options. I could decide to use the battery operated pressure gun to remove the cobwebs on the net and probably wash the tarpaulin, that white tarpaulin you're seeing. So again, the main idea is to be as thorough as possible, to make the place as fresh as possible. Remember, most people do not have any problem with diseases when they are raising their first batch of chickens. Why? Because the place is still a virgin place, in quote. It's still fresh, it's new. We don't have a high concentration of pathogens on that farm or in that chicken house. But after the first batch, the second batch, there is this concentration of pathogens, the things that harmed the previous batch that you did or that they had to overcome before they were taken for slaughter. Some of those pathogens are still available in the chicken house. And when you start wrong, then you are bound to have challenges. So my advice to you is to be as thorough as possible when you are cleaning your chicken house. You see the feeders that most people just clean on the outside. It's important that you actually clean it on the inside. Usually there's a lot of dirt hiding in the feeders that we are talking about, and you see the pathogens that cause disease, some of them can hide under the dirt. So if you want a fresh start, you want to make sure that you reach out to the corners and clean everywhere necessary. What about the water tank? What do? You want to make sure that you also wash that thoroughly. You can see in this case, because it's a small one, about a 50-liter container, I had to bring it down and ensure that it is thoroughly washed. So if it was to be a big one, you just have to go up there and clean it there. Make sure that you remove all the residue of multivitamins, the drugs that you have given them, Just make sure that everything is clean and fresh. One way to ensure that your cleaning experience goes well is to make sure that when you are doing the flooring of the house, of your chicken house, the whole floor, the entire floor slopes towards a particular direction. It could be one end or two ends, or even three, as the case may be. Maybe it's a very big house that it just slopes to three different corners or two different corners. The main thing is that it should slope towards a corner so that you'll be able to get the water out easily, as you can see in this video. Because if you have to use something to fetch the water and pour out again, that's going to be a lot of work, especially if it's a big chicken house. So as you can see, it's very easy here to drain. So just make sure you have a drain that is proportionate to the volume of water that you might be using per time. One other way to make your work easy is to make sure that you have at least one pipe that is supplying water into the chicken house. This will come handy when you need to put water on the floor and begin your cleaning process. Let me be generous enough to mention to you that something big is about to drop, and those who take advantage of it early would live to tell the story or share their enviable testimonies. I'm launching a course titled Raising Broilers Like a Pro. And if you are already familiar with my work, you will know that I always exceed your expectations. In that video course, you learn everything you need to succeed as a broiler farmer in just one place. You don't have to start searching for this and that video all around. Of course, this course will be available to anyone, anytime, but the first 50 people to take advantage of the pre-order will only pay 20,000 naira or $35 instead of 35,000 naira or $50. You want to stop all the problems you are facing on your broiler farm. You want to have that massive weight. You want to stop mortality. You want to have more profit from your broiler farming. Then make sure you take this course. It's going to change the entire story for you. As you can see, I'm already preparing the chicken house. We're going to take about 200 broiler chicks, and I'll be using that to teach you everything you need to know to succeed from start to finish. I tell you, it's going to be everything you need to succeed. So what are you waiting for? Click on that link in the description and let me see you in the class. I'll be leaving a link to the course in the description of this video. Make sure you're one of the first 50 persons to click on it. In case you're just watching this channel for the first time, this is DIY AGRIC, your #1 animal scientist and your poultry success partner.